Sorry, I'm a bit late. I've been running around. I'm here already. So, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. How you doing, my friend? Grog Daddy, good morning. JP, how are you? So I hope everyone's okay. Sorry I'm a bit late. I've just been running around doing a couple of things for me. I got, obviously kids are off holiday at the moment, so I got my daughter. So she keeps asking for things selfishly. So let me just take that up a touch. So market is officially open. Unlock. I'm just going to move that up a tiny fraction. Yesterday's low. Beautiful. Locked. Apply. Excellent. Okay, let's see what sort of day we have. So wasn't a bad day yesterday. Managed to get a trade. So I could have got a couple of points, I think, but I kind of like what I did. But I noticed Mac didn't mark that trade, which is a bit unusual. So whether I had a chat with a couple on Facebook earlier, said he never marked it in his bar by bar, which was a bit unusual. So the only thing I can think of is maybe Mac finished trading before that happened, and then when he marked it up later, he didn't mark it because obviously it went more sideways. But at the time, it wasn't that obvious we were starting to range. But I took it. I think a lot of people took it. So it's unusual for him not to mark something. But there you go. It is what it is. So we have markets opened, and then we've had this sort of push down, a little bit of sideways, and we have just popped out of it. We did try and come down, but it does seem that we are maybe starting to push up now. But what I will say is let's just draw that quickly there, because there may be there may be a bit more side. We may get sideways a little bit more, but obviously here you can see it's there's a little bit of support, so that might be why this is stumbling a little bit. So we may end up going like this a bit, but I don't know. We'll see anyway. So why haven't I said hello to Sam? How you doing, Sam? Exponential Trader, how are you, bud? Alex, hello, Sam. Got a nice 1 point there. Good for you, mate. Fjord, I think I've said that right. I hope I haven't murdered your name. Ford or Fjord. I think I've got that right. Hello to you. Hi, Brick, and hello, Speedy. How you doing? Rodian, how you doing, pal? Up late today. You are up late today. What time is it? I think you're about 11 hours ahead, are you? So is it about 1:30 in the morning there? You are keen, I'll give you that. So yeah, we may be going a little bit sideways here, so let's have to keep an eye on this. Let's have a little look. Can we take that up or down? But let's leave it there. We've pushed into this area and it does seem to be going a bit sideways, but a lot of the times when we do have this, we push up and in and we follow out the other side, but up, down, and then maybe up out of it. We'll have to see, but there's clearly a bit of support there. In fact, you may bring that down there. Actually, that looks a bit better there. It's touching a couple of times there and a few times there, so maybe, in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's bring this up. And put that there, because we may do, that may do a little bit of sideways. We'll see how we get on anyway. So 11th. Oh, that's not too bad. What part of remind me, you Australia or New Zealand? I think you're Australia, aren't you? I have another trader buddy. He's New Zealand, Paul Morgan, but I think you're Australia, aren't you? I'm pretty sure we've gone that before. So I've just been chatting with a guy on Messenger at the moment. A trader buddy of mine I chat with now and again recently gave his job up, and he trades full time now. So it's great to sort of go from a full day's work to an average of around 2 to 4 hours, isn't it? I got to say, I do enjoy the time. I don't miss getting out of bed at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning and going out in freezing cold winters. Oh, you're in Melbourne, are you? Excellent, I got you. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. The time difference is even worse for the Kiwis, has it really? Let me think. They're further out. Of course, yeah, because as it obviously the dates go across, don't they? So if you're in Melbourne, he'll be probably a couple of 3 more hours over to the right. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose. Well, it's more to. Yep, sounds about right. European office. See, you got. Yeah, I'm gonna say you guys can trade different indices, can't you? More in keeping with your hours, I suppose. More, I suppose, with you guys, it's more the. Is it the Far East, the Asian sort of hours? But I suppose it's all the same, isn't it? Some people like doing it late. That way, it gives them the day. And if it's 11:30 and you trade for a couple of hours, it's not the end of the world, is it? I have a day job, so can't trade before 5. Okay. So actually, trading or learning to trade for you hasn't been that bad. Obviously, US guys, it's their day, so it's difficult. With me, it's not been too bad because I used to start trading at 2:30 in the afternoon, so I could still do my job and still have a few hours to trade. So at 5 p.m. Frankfurt stock market opens, so that's a good. Yeah, that's the good thing about trading. Obviously, with the different time zones, there is sort of something to accommodate everyone, really, isn't there? So brilliant, excellent, right. That's good to know. It is on my list of. It is on my list of to-goes. Put it that way. Australia, yeah, it looks fantastic. It's always been a sort of an ambition of mine to visit Australia, and I will at some point. As you know, I'm a cricket fan, and I would love to go around the Ashes. That would be amazing. But yeah, it's got a lot of rawness to it, isn't it? Australia, there's obviously the cities but then there's the outback and a lot of the sort of things, that haven't really changed in, I suppose, tens of thousands of years, really. So it's got a mixed bag of amazing places to visit. So it's definitely on my list. The only downside to it is so bloody far away, isn't it? It takes such a long time. You want to be going for a month. So I will at some point, hopefully, if trading goes well and the money. There's a cricket batting cage across the street from me. I know it's a big sport for you guys, isn't it? I think, what is it? Australian rules is that more your national sport, or is it cricket? Or it might be close. But yeah, I've always been a fan of cricket. Always had it on as kids in the house, back when we had only 4 channels. But yeah, I mean, the Australians are mad passionate about cricket, and I respect that. But yeah, it's definitely on my list of to-dos, for sure. Australian rules football is a weird sport. Yeah, you guys are nuts, aren't you? I have used to watch some of that Australian rules. God, you guys are brutal. You beat the hell out of each other, don't you? You're definitely a tough breed. It's almost like rugby, our sort of rugby, but sort of a lot more punching going on, isn't there? But yeah. It is crazy, isn't it? Crazy sport, isn't it? Yeah. You guys are brutal to each other. Stop in Melbourne. If I ever do, mate, I'll look you up. There's a few people have said that if you ever come down our way, come down to our end. That'd be nice. That's the thing I like about trading. You get to know people all over the world. And you're not just sort of stuck to your own backyard. It's interesting. I do chat with people all over the world. And if I look sometimes through my channel, it shows you where all your subscribers are from. And literally, there's 20, 30 countries, from places, places like Israel to places like Brazil, all over the Far East, all through Europe. It is fascinating, really, where it's amazing, isn't it? Technology, the way you can connect with people anywhere in the world. Amazing. I just read today that cricket is the second biggest sport in the world. Is it really? More than 2 billion players. Well, I think you've got to think about India. I mean, India is a massive place, and they are absolutely cricket nuts in India, Pakistan, all around there. They're big areas, aren't they? So they command lots of watchers. But yeah, I suppose it is. I know it's a very quick growing sport in the UK. But, the old sort of red ball cricket with all, wearing the whites with the sort of one day in the test matches that last days and days, I suppose can be a bit boring to some, which is why they introduced things like 2020. And that really, it cuts down the time, and it's all usually under floodlit. floodlights, and it's a lot shorter, a lot brighter colour. So that's got a lot, it's brought a lot more interest into the sport. So it needed a bit of a boost. I'm going to say it's only the diehards that will sit there for 5 days in a row and watch a test match. Look at that sexy light. I know, yeah, very impressive, isn't it? Would you reload? Yes, I certainly will. I usually do that. I've forgotten today. It actually helps me out as well because there we go. In the process, my friend. Bangladesh, lots of people. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Yeah, massive areas, large areas of people. I don't know India. I think it's their national sport, India, isn't it? And but yeah, they are fanatical about cricket, I've got to say. I enjoy it because, you can sit there and have a nice relaxing beer all day, and when you lose slowly, so you don't get that massive letdown, which causes so many emotions. Like with football, you get lots of trouble and violence and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, with cricket, you lose slowly, so it lets you down a bit slow. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's an enjoyable sport, and if the sun's shining, sitting out there with a few beers and a couple of mates, it's great. It's a great way to have some fun, like in trading. Absolutely. Hey Bob, how you doing? So is that better now? Is it? We have reloaded, so hopefully that'll be a bit better. So we seem to be stuck in this area. We've worked in the bottom a little bit, we're working the top. We've had a bit of a breakout, but is it going to hold? Because we've ticked above it, and it looks like we may get a leg and a leg. It looks to me like it's starting to work down there, so keep an eye on that. If we get below this bar here, there's maybe some stops. Probably not as much as I thought, but let's zoom this up a bit. Right, market. When did we open? 2:30 is here. So let me just put my open, which would be there. Okay, beautiful. New York open. There we go. Lock. Beautiful. We can get rid of that. Excellent. So, wow, we're halfway through August. So, I would say August, September, October. In 2 months' time, the town where I live in Shrewsbury in Shropshire start to put their Christmas decorations up. That is unbelievable, isn't it? It's amazing how quick the months go. I kind of like trading at Christmas, I do. Because I usually have a little Christmas tree in the corner of the room, maybe a little bit of music, a few mince pies stuck next to me, where everyone's going out to work and freezing their knackers off. I'm stuck in the warm. It's great. Great time to be trading when it's freezing outside. Everyone else is outside shivering. So I've been looking at the 10,000 tick chart again. We started to look like we may get a sort of second entry short off there, but we've pushed above the EMA and now we seem to be dropping below. So we've got a leg down, maybe have another leg down, so that's something to keep an eye on. It's a possibility. So either the last time I've done this, it didn't play out. We've been doing such a lot of ranging lately, haven't we? Ranging lately, more or less. There was a bit of a couple of legs really, but say day before more ranging. There was some movement there, but it's sort of ranging, is it, most of the day with that push down, and then we went down, up, down, and but there's been a lot because we did climb up for such a long time, didn't we? Because we had that. If you looked on the daily, we had that, that constant channel down, and then we broke out of it, and we had this big channel up. So we've been ranging quite a bit lately. Okay, so that measured moves played out beautifully. So let's see what happens now. Let's see if we're getting something here. Okay, yeah, so far so good. See what happens here. Okay, so yeah, that's fitting there quite nice. Touch, touch, touch. Yeah, okay, so let's see what happens when we get down here. So what I'm hoping is we can push down, break, have a couple of, and have another leg down here and maybe get some. Be nice to get into a trend, wouldn't it, for a change? A decent trend where we sort of, instead of going sideways. So we did have some news earlier, but judging by that, it may have been a few spikier candles, but there has been from here. So no, you wouldn't really notice there was any news there, really. Maybe bars are a little bit bigger, but they've been quite large there. It has come down. Obviously, bars are a lot bigger here, but since we've sort of opened, things are calming down a bit. So fingers crossed. Mouse. Okay, so got to be careful here because I got into a trade here the other week, and it went against me. It's hard to know where this first set of bottoms are. We could see there's quite a bit of support there, so I'd be interested to see where this bottom may be, whether we're going to push down to this same level or not. Okay, so that fits nice. We've had a small break there and a new low. So I'm happy that that's a new low. So I'm not necessarily thinking about going short. We are close to these bottoms. So before I go short, I'd rather we have a break and push below here a bit. But I'm not interested in a short at the moment because we have had a break and not that. Just too risky, way far from the EMA. So it's a little bit unclear about whether we're bouncing and pushing back up or we're going to smash through it or we're just going to come down to this area. But this is the first time after this that we've come down to this area, so I'll have to just keep an eye on and try and figure out what's going on. Look at that sexy lag time. Does make a difference, I got to say. I didn't think lag had anything to do with slippage, but funnily enough, the first time I can't get rid of my lag, I get slippage. So what does that tell you? So was it Akitra, I think, mentioned that yesterday about that bit of software I downloaded and it worked a treat. So I appreciate that, mate, once again. Okay, so touch, 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 break, new low. So we have already made a new low, so you've got to be extra cautious taking a short here because it could be a trap. It may work and it may come down and we may end up having a bigger channel, but I've taken trades like this before and asked why it failed, and someone said to me because we've had a break in a new low, so it may work and it may not, but let's just put that like that for now. It's hard to know exactly whether it may come further down. Yeah, you got to be careful going short here because we've had a break. So what I'm going to do is wait for a lower low. Sorry, a lower high. But you've still got to be careful because we have had a break and it's quite rejected strongly. Okay, so there is a second entry short there, but personally I think that's a bit risky. And judging by that green bar, rightly so. Because we have had this break and a new low, but it's really too early in the day to work out whether this range, this is obviously just the initial parts of it, and then we push up. So this may be the sort of bottom of it currently. I was hoping we may get a failure there to trap some shorts. Long day at the office tomorrow. It's bedtime. Good for you, mates. Good for you. Oh, just quickly, guys. You know, I've had problems with this discount code, whether it's 80 or 90 or whatever. They've changed it now. It's just UKFT, and that's it. Nice and simple. So whatever current discount we've got on, that's what you use. So just UKFT, that's it. If there's 90% off, it'll give you 90. If there's 80, it'll give you 80, and so on and so forth, because it just gets confusing. I know a couple of people mentioned last week when we had the 90% off, UKFT 90 wasn't working, but UKFT was. So it's just confusing for people. So I asked them if they could change it just to UKFT, nice and simple. And they've done it, so that is now currently available. Unfortunately, we've not got any real offers at the moment. We've got 50% off. My opinion, I'm not paying that, so I suggest you wait. I would have thought any time now we'll have an 80% off again. But there is 50% off reset, so that's not too bad. I'd rather pay $40 for a reset than 50% for a new. What's it? So UKFT, if you use my code or you have used it, it's appreciated. But there you go, nice and simple. So let's see what's happening now. Maybe we get a leg up, and then a leg up, leg up, possibly. I don't know if there's a channel there. Possibly. Let's just move that over a bit. It's not an amazing channel, but if this pushes up and it carries on from here, I'll leave it. Otherwise, I'll bin it. So leg up, maybe another leg up. This is looking like the other way around, actually, in all fairness. This is looking like a leg down and a leg down to me. So I'm going to swap them around. I may swap them back in a minute, but just looking on Bookmap, there is liquidity around this 75 level, so we could come down here. It's more short-term liquidity, so I think it may be likely this may come down again. We'll see. Yeah, as my suspicions led to. Leg. Yeah, so I mean, you could have said that was a lower high. It wasn't a brilliant bar. Obviously, after this, there is a break there, and we have had a new low. So it doesn't mean, you know, it can't push up and come down again. So there's maybe a trap there, second entry long trap there. Trouble is, depending on how far this comes down, I expect that measured leg to play out. So it may trap that second entry long there. But I'm just a bit uncertain what's going on here. There is a possibility we could come down there. But it's a bit unclear to me at the moment. Yeah, it's a bit choppy, Sam, I agree. There is a second entry long. There is a leg which looks like a leg. So I think it's likely that's going to come down to this measured leg, which would stop out that second entry long. So I don't know. You may think that's a trade there. For me, it's a little bit far away from the EMA for me. But what I'm seeing, my thoughts are that's what's going to happen. But I don't think I'm confident enough on trading that at the moment. It's a bit too far away. From the EMA to me, yeah. By the time you got in that trade anyway, you could have took it on the engulfing. Trouble is, there's not much to this. Okay, well, there we go. If you'd have took it on the engulfing there, you'd have got a couple of points off it. But I think my only issue there is, but if you took it on that engulfing, you're one tick away from this measured leg, and it may have not done that. So that's what sort of kept me out of that. And obviously then it moved really quick anyway, which, but sometimes they work nice there. But yeah, that's the trouble. If you do go for the two legs down, it's only 2 or 3 ticks away on the engulfing, so it's risky going short into that lot. So it's a bit hard, that one. Probably the best trade ever, 20 points with 3 trades. Don't mean to gloat. Gloat, mate, don't worry about it. But it feels great to trade the bounce off the market. Where did you trade, bud? Let's try that. 20 points with 3 trades. Good for you, mate. No, gloat, mate. If you've done well, absolutely. I'm all for people. Yeah, I love it when people post their gains. I do. I love that. Good for you, mate. 20 points. Happy days. Beers on you, mate. I'll send you my address. You can send me a nice bottle of single malt through the post. So in fact, we got this leg down, maybe a couple of legs up and another leg down. So I would say let's get rid of this shorter term one, longer term one for now and go for that. So leg and then leg. So the trouble is we've had a quick bounce there, so it's hard to know whether it'll come down, but there may. So that may be what's it? Well, I'm going to leave that for now and draw this shorter term trend one just for now and see what happens. But trouble is I'm not a fan. Let me get rid of that a minute. If there's a break and a second entry, I'm not a fan of going into these bottoms. Your longs 44.72. Your long to here 44.72. Okay, you long here. Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. When you say 44.72, you mean here? You must mean here, mustn't you? Before, oh, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say here. You wouldn't have got that point. I got you. Oh, good for you, mate. Good for you. Good on you, mate. No, you gloat. Got you. Yeah. I'm going to say, you wouldn't have got much there, would you? Yeah, it did look like it was sort of, we'd had this bit of a push down, and we'd had a couple of points, and it did look like that was bottoming, wasn't it? So good for you, mate. Good for you. Okay, so possible second entry short. I'd like to think there's going to be a leg and a leg, but the trouble is there is a possibility that this could have bounced off, I don't know, what some traders may deem as the bottom, and you may get a second entry short and it may trigger and push up. So I'm just not a fan going short into areas where I know that have bounced before. Although I would like to see a measured leg. If he'd only bounced once before, then I may have been interested, but obviously no setup anyway, so there we go. Okay, come on then, what's going on? So we've had a break, clearly. So we touch there, touch there, touch there. So I'm happy that that's a channel. We've got no arguments there. Usually go long off the first touch and then the first swing, which is here. So it's touched there. That's confirmed it for me. It's clearly coming in there, no argument there. Sometimes if you're not sure about a channel, if you squeeze it up like that, you can see it just fits nicer. So we've had a break and there's our new low. So now, if we do close down here, then I think it's likely we may continue down. So there could be some sort of bigger trend channel on the cards. Sometimes it's easy to go from these two areas here. In fact, wow, that would take us, oh, look at that. That would take us right up to there. And it kind of works okay. So there is a possibility, and this, okay, so I'm not a massive fan of drawing these too early, but in all fairness, we've touched a bunch of times here. Okay, so we've gone here, touched a bunch of times here, we've touched perfectly there, so I think there's a good chance that that is valid, and it actually works kind of nice here as well. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? Are you going to keep that on your chart, or is it a bit too early? But I've gone for right from this very top one, and it's sitting nice there. It's sitting absolutely perfectly, which you think had to be. There's a reason, and you would think the reason has got to be. I know sometimes if you put them too early, it can upset your bias. But for me, we've had a leg down, and we look like we're having another leg down. So I think it's likely that we are trending down at the moment with a little bit of sideways, but we have got yesterday's lows there, which clearly is playing a part. Yeah. I think so. Let's see. It is touching kind of nice there. Or it may be a bit early. I don't know. Okay, let's just get rid of it for now. It does seem like we are trending down. So what I might just do for now is just join them two up. No, let's just leave it for a minute because it is bottoming here. It may push down or it may pop back up. Now, what are we doing? Yeah, this is going to come down lower, I think. I'm just looking at bookmap and around about 60. There's some shorter term levels of liquidity, so leg down, maybe a couple of legs. So that measured move's clearly played out. So I'd like to think this larger one is on the cards. I may just put that back for now. I'm hoping when we hear something from Mac, maybe he might show this. I mean, it's touching there, isn't it? There. It's quite nice. So I kind of think that's okay. I know sometimes when you put these up a bit early, they can affect your bias, but to me, that's a leg down, and this is another leg that's forming. So I've actually never been a fan of this that channel like that, in all fairness. Let me remove it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it actually. That to me just looks like a little bit of congestion. We've gone sideways to here, we've come down. We've had a couple of pushes up to here, we've come down leg. So there's definitely congestion there, but I don't think we need to go larger scale because there's nothing here. There's a little bit here and a little bit here. Big bars today, eh? They are a bit. They're coming down, mate. They started off bloody large here, but they're coming down a bit. I like to try and get around about the 80, around about the 2, or with a 2, you got around about an average of a 2.5 point risk there. So I kind of don't mind that. I suppose the one slight upside of having a larger ATR is you get in and out your trades a bit quicker, I think. So let's see what's going on here, because this to me looks like it's coming down. So there's a possible hidden second entry short there. It's too far away from the EMA, and I need to just get my head around exactly what's going on here, so I'm not getting involved here. Anybody else got that bigger channel? Think it's okay? I like the way we've gone right from that very top. Fits nice there. Fits perfect there and there. And kind of nice here as well. So this is working in this top tier for me. I don't want to jump the gun and get a bit too ahead of myself. But even if I take that away, yeah, you've been watching it. Yeah, I think, I mean, for it to touch here and here, and then perfectly here and here, we've gone sideways. I think you've got to at least be aware of it, haven't you? And we, at the moment, we seem to be working in this top tier, so this is a possible area for entries, or obviously at the EMA as well. But excuse me. So let's keep an eye on this area. This may be an area where we may not get that far, but that seems to be a little bit of a channel. So, ooh. Bearing in mind there's yesterday's low there, so it's clearly reacted there, so it might just be a little bit risky going short there. It might be and it might not be, I don't know. I think it's important to see that there has been some reaction to yesterday's low, so that's a no-goer anyway, because that's just a first entry. So I'm hoping we get a leg, a break, and another leg which will get us into this domain again. Just get this correct. In fact, that needs to go up just a tiny fraction, which would get us to, say, this bottom here, wouldn't it? So let's just take that to there, and that sounds about right. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So it's clearly having a reaction to yesterday's lows. Okay, so leg up. Oh. Okay, so yeah, so if you did think about that drop, risky. So there's a leg up possible. Second entry long. Trouble is, for me, the overall is down, so I generally don't take any type of counter trend. And for me, if you're going long here, it is a counter trend. It's not to say it's not going to work, but for me, everything's really down, isn't it? And this to me looks like our second leg, which would take us down to here, quite possibly, if I'm reading things right. Yeah, it's clearly that's yesterday's lows. It's clearly playing a part. You can't argue with that, can you? I mean, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actual touches in one form or another on that line. So I never used to draw these, but obviously they clearly make a difference. So if you're going to go short here, I think it's good to be aware that there is that yesterday's low, which is obviously making a difference. Following Sanya's, yeah, I don't blame you. You got on with him quite well, actually. So, yeah, I don't blame you, Wood. You got to do what's right for you, mate. Absolutely. Good for you, mate. I feel bad for the comments, but I just found it wasn't in keeping with this and it was affecting me a bit. But I absolutely get it works for some people, but you got to follow your own way. Absolutely. I'd never expect anybody to do any less than follow your own way. Absolutely. I wish you all the best, Wood. Absolutely, mate. You've only ever been friendly to me, mate. You've always supported me when I've had a bad day. You're one of the people I always get a message from, and it always gives me a lift, and I always show my wife. So, no, absolutely, mate. Good for you, mate. Good for you, bud. Good for you. Yeah, you've absolutely got to do. If something doesn't feel right for you, you move. You try something else. How many PAs? How many PAs do YouTube have, NOS? How many PAs do YouTube have? Yusuf, I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You might have to reword that. Are you saying how many PAs do I? No, you wouldn't say that. Otherwise, you wouldn't say YouTube. Yeah. Oh, do I have? Sorry. 4, mate, at the moment. You can see them on the right there. You see them? 4 at the moment. I've had 5 a few times, but I seem to have gone through the last few times. I've gone through a stage of trying to take a stupid risk on that one, the new one, to try and build it up a bit. But the last one I blew last week of that one, I've just given up now. I'm not doing it anymore. So if I get a new one now, even though it's a 0, I'm just trading it like the rest. I'm starting to realise that trying to take shortcuts just isn't working. And now I'm doing it the right way. I'm now starting to get some regular payments from Apex, which is good. So it just goes to show you, even if it takes time and you might only get 3 trades a week, you've got to do it. I manage to win 5 accounts. Good for you, mate. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I love hearing people do well because it gives me hope. And I love hearing about the payouts that people are getting from that. Just it spurs me up, that does. I don't trade, Pat, so just make polite. Absolutely, mate. That's, trading can be quite a lonely old business, can't it? So sometimes it's nice to just chat with. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing it, just to hook up with other traders. Because it can be boring stuck in a room by yourself for 4 hours. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, getting them's the easy bit, keeping them's the hard bit, isn't it? But I'm starting to realise now I just have to sit here until I see an obvious trade. Then when I see it, I take it, and I don't monkey around any more than that. It is easier said than done. Yesterday I took a failed second entry short, which in hindsight was risky. Now it may have worked and it may not, but it went sideways, and fortunately I had the luck of getting out of it for break even. But it still happens. You're still going to make mistakes, but hopefully there'll be less and less. But I think out of the last 10 trades I've done, I've won 9 of them. So it tells me the way I'm doing things now, excuse me, is working in my favour. I'm doing things the right way, and it's showing in my trading. So I'm pleased about that. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, in the last 11 trades, I've lost 2. And one of those, in my defence, was one I decided to take a riskier trade, and I just used 1 account. But if I wouldn't have taken that one, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'd have been on 11-1. So it's a nice number, so I'm pleased about that. How many pay-ups you made so far? Okay, so I've had a total of, I think it's $10,000 so far. I had 2,000 in 2, 4. Yeah, I had 2,000 in January when I built that account up to 7,000. Okay, let me just keep an eye on this. We're coming up to this level, so that looks like a leg and a leg to me. I had 2,000 in January. I had 2,000 in April. I had 4,000 the month before last. And this month I've had 2,000, and I've got 4 accounts at the moment. I'll drag them into the edge of your shot. You can see them there, my PA accounts. That one's an evaluation I'm working on, but just under well, that one's at 2,000, but they were $100 up. So when I get those to 2,600 again, I've got another month anyway, nearly a month, so I should comfortably do that, and then I'll take 1,000 out of each, which will give me another 4,000, and that will see me at break even. So I've got everything back that I've put into Apex. No, I've already done that. Tell a lie. I can't remember what I put into Apex, but I've got it all back from Apex now. But there are some things like £2,500 worth of computer equipment. 5,000 I've lost in my own money. So I would say another 2 to 3 months and I should completely hit break even. So all good. Okay, so we had a leg up, sideways, and another leg up. We hit that area again, and then we dropped. It was a doji, but relatively bearish doji, but there was no second entry or anything, so it's a bit risky. So I'll say, so yeah, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, $10,000, and there's no reason why I shouldn't get 4,000 in a month, $1,000 from each. So they're starting to come larger and more often now, which I suppose is the way it happens, isn't it? You can't go from earning 0 to hero overnight, can you? But it does start to come. You get better. You hold your accounts longer. This is by far, I've had one of my accounts 40 days, the other one 20 or something. But I've had them all like nearly a month. So I'm just starting to realise if I take my time and do things the right way, it works. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Daughter. Okay, so, this is looking now like this area is, Lance, do you mind if I put Sandy's email? Absolutely not, mate. You carry on, bud. It does look like this is, I'm not sure whether emails work. Oh yeah, it does. You should be able to put it. So we've touched a bunch of times here, touched here. So I'm quite happy that's working in here. And obviously this section here is working in this top tier. So unfortunately I thought we may get a bit of a pullback, but we're getting nothing there. So at least we seem to be working down in a trend of sorts. We have now managed to push below yesterday's low, so that's good. So we get a leg down. If we can get a push down, maybe second entry short off this area would be nice. Yeah, that's right, Brant. Somebody's mentioned something before. I think you've got to break it up because it doesn't show a full email, I don't think. So you might need to break it up in comments or something, bud. Sania at JOSH, is that I79 gmail.com. I think that sounds about right, isn't it? If anybody's not sure, if anybody wants that and they're not sure what it is, just ask again and we'll try and get it to you. We'll try and make it a bit clearer, but hopefully. So come on, get a couple of legs up here. So it does look like there's a chance we've got this leg down here that we've got another leg coming. So that's starting to look positive, and I think the overall picture is we are starting to work down. Now, I'm quite pleased we're in this top tier. The trouble is, when you're taking shorts in the bottom tier, there's always a possibility it could move over into this top. So it is quite nice. I'm quite pleased we are where we are. So fingers crossed we keep going down. Come on, get up. There we go. Up we go. Come on. Okay, Sania, Joshi 79. Okay, that's a good start. So Sania, Joshi 79. Is it at Gmail? At gmail.com, does that sound about right? There we go. That's the end of it. I think I can type it all, can't I? There we go. I can type it. Ooh, I'm privileged. They are. SaniaJoshi79 at gmail.com. So if you want that, Sania. Sania was on this stream for quite a while. He has a different system than us. But some people it was working all right for. So some people it was sort of, I know some people are moving away from Pats. It's not everyone's cup of tea, so that's okay. So if you did, let me have a look. I'm liking how this is working actually, so yeah, distraction, nothing against. No, that's fine, mate. You got to do your own thing, mate. I absolutely respect that. If things weren't working for me, I'd be thinking about something else or trying something else, or you know, you've always got to keep your eyes and ears open. Okay, so we've had this leg down. One. We have retested that, but it's not really nice to get something else, and then a second entry short. I like the way we've pushed down and we've come back up and retested yesterday's lows and the EMA. So
order submitted.
Like that's a big ass bar, that is. We're all into the lows, aren't we? I'm not. I like the fact that we've had a break and we've had two pushes up. It is a second entry short, 5-point risk. Yeah. That's a bit of a, yeah. It's probably going to make another leg down, but there ain't much room to the lows, and that is just risky. I think it'd probably work, but trouble is we're at the lows here, so you just got to be so careful. There is a possibility as well we could end up doing something like this. Yeah, that doesn't look terrible, does it? So it may trigger you and stop you out, and you do not want to be stopped out on a bar that big. Tick below, tick above. 15, 16, 17.
Order cancelled.
Trouble is, when these bars form that quick, you can get a bit excited and drop your order and you're thinking, wow, this is it, we're shooting down. I'd say it's probably going to work. Leg down, and it does look like it's working, but it's a big old bar, that is, when you've got no room. Okay, clearly worked nicely. It did look nice and bearish, but you've just got to be a bit careful, that's all. So it worked nice, that did. Clearly got 2 points, but I left that alone just because it's a big risk. And trouble is, it looks like a leg and a leg, but if that goes wrong, that'd cripple you. That would so what was it, 15, 16, 17 points. Ooh, big. You did make 2 points out of it, but I mean, so if you went a tick below that here, you've got like 2 ticks to the lows. It's just a big no-no, that is. It made 2.75, so you've got 2.5 points. There is a lower high there, but it's just a bit too far away again. Same again, another quite big bar. It's a reasonable bar again. So what's that? That's 3.25. So tick above, tick below. It's a 1/4 of a point off 4 points. It's a lot, that is. Now, that might be, it might mean they're just very bearish and lots of people are selling them. It probably does, but you still got to be a bit careful. Yeah, another reason that made me nervous as well. You've got 3 bars closing in a line there, and I've taken a trade before there, and it's ticked me and stopped me out, and I've asked why, and they've said, look, it's clearly finding some support there. You can clearly see that. It doesn't mean it's not going to push down, but you have to take into consideration that may cause a problem. And that is a big bar. I mean, if it had been maybe 1.5, 2 points, you may have taken it. If it may have been further up here, I'd have taken it. Now, oh no, it's okay. I mean, I suppose the one positive thing is we are in a pretty strong downtrend, aren't we? In this leg, we've come down sort of 10, 20, 30 points just in this leg. So I think it is likely we're going to continue down, but you have to take those 3 bounces there into consideration if you're short into that, because that could cause you problems. Bar finished up here, it wouldn't be so bad, but Okay, excuse me just for a minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, clearly going a bit sideways. I do think it's likely to continue down. We haven't made that measured leg out yet, but there's obviously a little bit of sideways. Where do you... I mean, after that push down, where would you enter there? It's a bit risky, so it's going a bit sideways. So. Possibly a hidden second entry short back into the channel.
Order submitted.
Get an order ready just in case.
Order canceled.
Let's see if we get the same reaction here. Now, some may take that back into there. I'm leaving it. It's a first entry. I mean, you may call it a hidden second entry, but for me, it's just a little leg up there. Now, you may fade that, but I don't know. It's just something I'm not mega happy with. I don't tend to. Let's get rid of that. I don't tend to do that a lot. Fade these. It's going a bit sideways here, so it's just making me a bit nervous. There is a possibility we could be doing something like that at the moment. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that straight push like that, and it has triggered. And obviously up to now it has respected that line, so but yeah, just leg, break leg. It may be okay. It may just turn now and end up bearish, but too many buyers coming in. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just get used to now just looking at something, and if it doesn't, something doesn't look right or feel right, I usually listen to that instinct, and it usually works well. In all fairness, so that is a 2-point risk. Tick below 2.5 point. It's certainly a better risk than that, but. To me, I'll be shocked if that doesn't get stopped out. It may hold. There is a possibility that that's triggered. That may come down, but I'm just not interested. Okay, so that was a good instinct, that. Now, I don't tend to do that. Some people do fade these, but that looked like a leg and something just didn't feel right about it, and I left it, and it was a good decision because that went for not even a point. So you wouldn't have got a point out of that. It's about here, wasn't it? Yeah, you wouldn't have got a point. So that was a good decision to leave that. Because I get why people may have taken that. Because look, we touched a bunch of times up here. We touched here, touched here, touched here. Bearish bar, right where you'd expect it to turn. But then it triggered and pushed up. It's a bit sideways for me, and that to me is just creating a little bit of caution. So it's a good decision, and I like it when I make a decision and it works. It just helps build my confidence that I'm reading things right. If something doesn't feel right, and I leave it alone, a lot of the times it'll do that. So you've got 10 points on the NQ going along. That NQ motors, doesn't it? Apparently, I have had a little play around with it, and sometimes, yeah, it'll just move really quick. I thought the ES was bigger, but in fact, the ES must be bigger. Isn't the NQ? Is it the top 10 or top 100 tech stocks in the NQ? So it can't be bigger than the ES, can it? I know it moves more than the ES. I don't really know, in all fairness. Okay, one leg, two legs. It may just be a break. We may come down. It's hard to say. So, got this leg and a leg. I think you're a bit weird. Oh, Akitri, I appreciate that yesterday about pointing me in the direction of that sync software. It's worked a treat. So hopefully that'll save me a bit of money there in slippage. Okay, so we've had a leg up and a leg up, and now what's going to happen? Less liquidity in the NQ, which prompts bigger moves. Okay, yeah. Well, is it the top 10? I think it's the top 100, isn't it? Obviously, the ES being the top 500. Obviously, there's a lot more. There's a lot more companies based around the ES. So, but yeah, I suppose so. I've had a play around with it on a demo on a sim, but the point system's a bit different, isn't it? So I kind of like it. I'm used to how this works. And obviously, I know the average ATR compared to my risk, and everything works out kind of nice. I'm used to it. Less orders at each price level. Takes less to push through each level. Yeah, I play around with it. I do play around with it from time to time. Okay, so there is some liquidity sat at 44.70, which is here. So there is a possibility we may hit that. From my understanding of Bookmap, the longer that liquidity has been sat there, the less chance it's got of hitting it, I think. But I could be wrong. Okay, so that kind of fits nice. Touch there, touch there. Started from here, touch there, touch there. It's clearly working there. Nice, no argument there. Let's just clear this up a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Max up, is it? See what he's got for us. Oh, is it? Oh, right, all right. Oh, I haven't got his email yet. Perhaps it's up on his website, isn't it? Okay, as I suspected, there was something a bit around here I didn't like, so he has just gone from there, which more or less incorporates that. But let's draw that like that and bring that more or less the same exactly. Whether he'll join the two up if it continues down later on, but the fact that it fits there nice, I'm happy to do that. That he's got as that. Which, okay, yeah, fair comment. So we've had our break and our new low. There's a bit of news around here. Leg up, bit of sideways, exactly the same as I've got on this leg. Yeah, the only difference is he's got exactly the same, but obviously I had mine up here, which does fit, and the bottom down here. So this is obviously clearly a channel, and now we've had a break. So let's see, let's just drag it if no one's seen it. So yeah, so I had mine pushing from the top, which fits as well. So I don't know if it does continue down. Maybe later on it might look different, but more or less the same. So brilliant. Okay, so we know we're fighting in the we're in the right ball game. So let's just adjust that fraction. Beautiful. Okay, so touch, no argument there. Break, so let's remove that for now. Okay, so we have this nice channel working. We've had a break of it, so I am expecting it to come down and retest the lows. Now, another reason why I liked where I had it pushing there is it was working this top tier. But I don't think it really matters. So that kind of looks like two little legs there, a little leg, a little bit of sideways, a little leg. So let's see if we retest this or break this high before we come down. That's if we come down. So how long have I been consistently profitable? I wouldn't call myself consistently profitable. I'd say I've had one in January, missed a few months, had one in April. I had one in, I had a large one in June, missed July. I've had one in April. So I've had a total of $10,000. But what I'm finding now, I'm managing to hold PAs and to withdraw out of them. So I would say I'm starting into the realms of consistent. Let's just say my four PAs. I had $1,000 out of 2 of them this month. Now they're just under 2,000. One's $2,000, the others are just under. So for next month, which gives me a month away, the plan is to take another 1,000 out of it, or 4 of them. So next month, $4,000. So hopefully in another month, even if I can get them up to $1,500, that'll be about $3,500. I'll take another 1,000, and then I'll continue to take 1,000 out per month and build them till they get to 5,000. And then the plan is then to take 2,000 each, which would be $8,000 a month, and then obviously continue to build. But I've actually now got all the money back I've put into Apex, so that's a good start. So I think I'm about £7,000, which is probably $9,000 down, with all the rest of the things I bought, the money I lost, my own money, the computer's equipment, and the Ninja Trader license. So I'm guessing this side of Christmas I'll have completely hit break even. So all good. Lance, when would you go up contracts? Well, the plan is to get to 5,000 and then take 2,000. Now, if I can get my account up by maybe 2,500 per month, that would leave 500. I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 10,000. I don't really know, to be honest with you, mate. Now, bearing in mind, I've been trading 2 contracts with a $2,500 drawdown. So when the account gets up to 5,000, I could do a bit more. But personally, I'd like to get a little bit. I think I'd like to maybe get $7,500 before I consider that. But the plan is just to be able to take $2,000 out of each PA account. And then if I make anything above $2,000 over a month on each account, I'll allow that to build. And then hopefully when I hit a level, I'll work it out. I'll sit down and have a think about it. I'll have a chat with a few people, excuse me, and just make a decision. But I would have thought 7,500, maybe 10,000. I don't know. Or I may have a plan that if I lose 2 in a row and I go back to 2. I don't know. But the plan really is at the moment just to take $1,000 a month out of the 4 PAs, and then let whatever I make on top of that month build the account up to a suitable level, and then I'll take it up to the $2,000, and as well as that, slowly build accounts. So, but the plan by the end of the year is to withdraw $8,000 out of the 4 accounts. So fingers crossed, anyway. Smart says, Lance, do you do 1 trade and then duplicate? Yes, I do, mate. Yeah. I think that's what we all do here, and I use a piece of software called Replicanto for that. There's 2 I know of, Replicanto and Apex's own. Now, I had Apex's for about 3 or 4 months, and I just had problems with it. So I acquired, anytime, mate, you can't really do it without. You could trade individual accounts, but the trouble is, if you're only finding 1, 2 trades a day, and you've got 5 accounts, you're going to be struggling to build them, really. So yeah, it works effectively. I have had 1 slight issue since I started using Replicanto. One of my accounts didn't close, so that's why I just keep an eye out and just check that everything's closed when my account either hits its profit, hopefully, or hits its stop. So yeah, I usually show you guys when I've showed you guys when I've taken all the payments. And I just pop it up on screen because it's nice to show people, that what you're doing is working. So we got this channel up here that looks like 2 little legs and a push up again. So there is a possibility that we may start to work up. I would like to see a retest of this area, but it is possible. We may have a couple of legs and we may push it. I don't know. I had 10p accounts. Now I have 4. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I've had the same thing. I've had the last 3 or 4 times I've had my 5th PA. Because the others are built up a little bit, I've tried to take a stupid risk with a few contracts to try and push my luck. and it's backfired on me, and that's happened about the last 3 times. So when I blew the one a week or so ago, I said, that's it, enough now. I ain't doing it. I'm proving to myself when I sit patiently and trade properly, 2 contracts, proper trades, I can build accounts. So I think sometimes it's when you doubt yourself that you try and push your luck and try and think you need a bit of luck when you don't really. What you need is just to sit patiently and do it. And it just takes time. You know, it takes time to get to that level, but if you can, you know, just persist and keep trying, you will get used to those emotions, and you'll get that sick of losing that you'll just want to do things the right way. And then when you do, you'll start to realise, actually, I don't need luck. I don't need a bit of a gamble to try and get my accounts up. All I need to do is just take my time. Wait for a setup. You know, there was 2 days last week, I think, where I never took a trade, and I'm quite happy to do that as long as I believed I did my job, which was to sit patiently. But I know what you mean, bud. You will have bunches of them, and you will blow bunches of them. It's all part of the journey. It's getting that mindset used to doing things the right way. And, you know, as human beings, we try and cut corners and we try and get a bit lucky. And but after a while, I think you just, you know, I get lucky when I sit for 3 hours before I take a trade. I get lucky when I sit. There's all sorts of things and you go through. But that's why, you know, I never really understood the meaning of the word journey until I learned to trade. And it really feels like a journey of good and bad. You know, some days you feel great and everything works. And then other days you've got your head in your hands, just in disbelief. It's, you know, it's a tough one. The break at the third touch. Let me have a look. Let me just have a look. That would make things a bit. Yeah, it is important to note that, because if you're sitting, if we've already had a break, we could be pushing out. Let me have a look. Charts. Oh, you are shitting me. Okay. I thought my internet was playing up again then. Okay. Right, I'm just going to drag this in quickly and we'll have a look together. Okay, let's just drag this in. Can we make this any bigger? No. Can't get any bigger. Yeah, I think you might be right. That might be a break. Yeah, I think it is. I don't know why I can't make that any bigger. Yeah, I think it is a break. Okay, well spotted, Brunt. Let's have a look. So, I don't know how, because it goes from here to here to here. I don't know. Yeah, that's a bit beyond me, that is, because I've gone from here. Let me just get it up one more time. Oh. Yeah, that's looking like a break. I don't know how. You know, I can make that a break is if I pull that out there. It's unusual. Okay, so he's got it right from there. So let's put it as close to the top as we can, yeah? And if I put it there, okay, I mean, that's negligible, isn't it? Okay, so I've gone from there to there. Yeah, okay. It's a small break, but sometimes small ones can be significant. But what I will say quickly is, looking at the 10,000 tick chart, we're clearly working our way down. We went above the EMA a bit, and then we've been daisy chaining down. It looks like one leg, two legs, so I won't be shocked if we do come down. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. He's obviously marked it, but in all fairness, I think that's negligible. I've gone right from, I don't know about you guys, I mean, charts can differ ever so slightly, so let's put that right on the very top there. Okay, if I'm going to incorporate that, have to lift it up a bit. pushed a fraction to there. I mean, that's negligible in my opinion. Gone right from here, touch here. I mean, that's out a tiny bit, isn't it? But maybe it's enough. Who knows? No, it's not convincing, is it really? I mean, I could make that, I could judge that, push that up a tiny fraction and it won't make a damn bit of difference to that really. So it's negligible. So, okay, so let's assume there is a possibility. But what I will say is that looks like a bottoming pattern, doesn't it? So it would explain a break to have an area like that, wouldn't it? So let's assume, see, he might have seen this and maybe thought, have we had a break? So it's hard to say. So you should draw your tests at the actual bar where you're starting from. I am, that one there. That's where I started from there. And there. See, that's really negligible, isn't it? That's where he's gone from here. Right from the top of there. Your channel extends all the way left. All the way left. Hang on, about here. That's where I had it. See, if we've had an overshoot, sorry, a break, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, whether you have it there. Hold on a minute, what's going on here? Touch there, yeah, that's negligible, that is. So we've come from here, don't we? So, all right, that's what you think. That's what you mean. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. I can't see how that really makes any difference. Literally move the whole entire channel to the right. You know, about there, yeah. But it still doesn't make a difference to there. Excuse me a second. No, it doesn't make a difference to where it's touching, is it? We touch once, we touch twice. That's confirmed it. I mean, that to me is not. It's not a break. Not on my chart, it isn't. I don't know. Maybe this is a leg and we come down. I don't know. I mean, if this finishes bearish on the this finishes bearish on the 10,000 tick chart, for me that looks like a leg, but I don't know what he's seen really. I don't know how he's done that, because that's right the nearest tick. So is that, and that is not even a tick above it, is it? And then as soon as we hit this level, we've dropped. So I don't know. I mean, until you possibly say that's an overshoot, I don't know. I think it's negligible, isn't it? Because it touches here and it touches there. I don't know. I don't know. So let's just keep an eye on things. Okay, funnily enough, let's hit that right to the nearest tick. So if we can push down below the EMA now, maybe we'll come down and make a new low. Let's just put that there. That kind of fits. So there is a possibility there's a channel starting. We'll see what happens when it comes to here. But we've hit that measured leg perfectly. So let's just keep our eyes peeled. So, in fact, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, guys. My wife's just come home. I'm going to make a quick cup of tea. So, okay, would you take a lower high? I was just looking at that lower high. Trouble is, for some reason, Mac's seen a break. I'm not, in all fairness. I don't think that can fit any more perfect. So it could be a leg, and coming down. I wouldn't take it personally because that to me would be picking a high. And I'm not a massive fan of them, and I don't have a lot of success with them. So I'd rather wait for it to push below here before I consider going short here. So I think it's just... and if I have got it wrong and we are pushing up, it may trigger and push up. So I'm going to sit tight. In fact, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, yeah, some uncertainty there. It'd be interesting to see what comes down here, whether we end up having... It could just... I mean, we've hit that measured leg. We could have a leg and a leg, and it may come down and retest these bottoms. Yeah, it's hard to say at the moment, but we've definitely got something bearish there. We're coming down, you know, came down, pushed up a little bit of sideways, came down, pushed up a little bit of sideways. If the pattern repeats, we'll see. But it's a bit too early yet, but it could continue up in a channel, or it may come down, break these lows, and eventually possibly push down for another leg, but it's a bit hard to say. Now, there is a failure there, but it's above the EMA, and it's clearly going sideways, so it's a no-no. Okay. Massive chunk of liquidity, 44.05, right down there. $1,737 orders, right the way down there. That's a large order, that is. $44.05 right down here. So I think someone may be expecting to get down here by the end of the day, or week, or whatever. Okay, so we've pushed up, we're going sideways. We've hit that measured leg nicely, so we can get rid of that now. So leg up, leg up. There is a possibility we could be moving up in a channel. Max seems to have got a break here. I can't see it really. I mean, I could even... Yeah, I mean, I could make that fit absolutely perfect. I mean, look at that. Oh, sorry about that. Touches here, perfect. Touches here, perfect. Touches here, perfect. I don't know how that can be a break of a channel. It's not even close, really. If you look, it fits perfectly. So I don't know how Max quite got that there. And normally, we know we always go from the top of the stem. I don't know. Okay, so it may go sideways to here and then push up again. So that's a possibility. Or it may start to drop and then push below the EMA and then work downwards. Like that. So I want to start live streaming trades. Okay, go for it. Go for it. It's helped me. The fact that you got people watching makes you less likely to do something stupid. It doesn't always help, but it's definitely helped me. And it's nice to hook up with other traders. So, yeah, if you want to do it, go do it. It's made things better for me. I have a great personality. I don't know, my wife thinks I talk too much. She wouldn't be the first one that said that. So I'm just quite talkative. Yeah, I might not be everyone's cup of tea. Some people probably wish I'd just shut up. So I also get that as well. Totally agree, Ryan. Okay, so I've got 2 fans out there. That's good news. I think for me, what helps me with streaming is because I'm the type of person that doesn't think quietly. I like to talk out my thoughts in my head, and I've been chatting with myself walking down the street in the past, and I've had someone jogging past me that I catch a glimpse of with a little grin on their face. So some people think quietly in their head. I like to talk about it. I feel like I hear it a bit clearer. So that's why you'll hear me sometimes just talking through trades. It's not that I'm doing it necessarily for your benefit. It's just how I process things, and obviously if it helps you guys, you know, better than someone who has nothing to say. There you go. So I've got a few fans out there. So fantastic. I appreciate it. Oh, if I help you or even keep you company for a few hours, then it's win-win for us all. So there you go. He entertains me besides trading. Okay. It is a lonely old business, so it's nice to have a bit of company, some other people to throw ideas at, isn't it? You know, and especially now we've got this quicker internet as well. How much did you spend on your PC? I actually built my own. I'd never done it before, something I'd always fancied doing, and obviously a trading computer, there are certain things that you need and certain things you don't need. But I think initially the unit I built, I think, was around about £850, which is about, I don't know, $1,200, maybe a little bit less. But I added to that when I started streaming with a graphics card, because when I found I had different multiple screens, it was glitchy. So I paid an extra about £300, so $950, $1050, $1150. So about £1,150, maybe $1,400, and that doesn't include the screens. I've got 4 screens. I did have 5, but one accidentally got punched. Screens are pretty cheap, actually. 100 you pick up screens for about $120, I think, and I've got 4 at the moment. One which I trade on. I have one which I have my YouTube stream on, where I see all your comments, and I've got another one to my top left, which is the OS, which is all the recording stuff and all the little bits you see down the bottom here. And on my spare screen at the moment, I've just got porn running just to keep me. No, I'm only kidding. I've got a bookmap running, which I pay attention to, not as much as I used to, but and then the YouTube one, I've got a couple of smaller bits with just showing my Ninja Trader stuff and Replicanto and my Apex stuff. Accidentally punched, yeah. I figure that's why traders go through lots of screens, but it was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. I blew another account, punched it and threw it out the window. But I got a nice shiny 27-inch one in its place a while later, so. But yeah, my honest opinion, streaming, it's not for everybody. Some people, because you do get shitty comments sometimes, you do get people sending you stupid ass messages sometimes saying you're doing it all wrong, you should do this, you should do that. Not that many, in all fairness, so you do get that, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. But sometimes when I get the really negative stuff, they actually sort of help me in a strange way, because I like sort of proving people are wrong. But for the most part, it's helped me, because I know you guys are watching, so I'm less likely to do something stupid. I think you guys have only seen me melt down once, maybe twice in about 8 months. So it does make me be a little bit careful, put it that way. I like to get things the right way, because if people are watching, it makes you look stupid, doesn't it? So, okay, so there it is. There's almost like a failure there. That's the new high here. We've pushed down. People may go long into that. In fact, chatting, I missed that. People may fade that, and it triggered above and came down. So, yeah, see, I would think it's going to push down, but there obviously is that possibility that there may be something bigger, and I don't think there is. For me, it looks like a leg and a leg, and then slowly back to retest the lows, I think. But you may have taken the engulfing there, but the way that's just pushed back up, I'm quite glad I didn't. So, yeah, there's your new high after this one. So try to go like once, try to go twice. It's actually a failure there, and it's not a terrible looking failure, because there may be some people longing that back into this, but it triggered and then stopped you out. So it was a bit of a tricky one, that. Footballers commenting. Most football commenters I know are right annoying, so I think that's what you mean. But yeah, see that if you're thinking it's coming down, yeah, second entry long, failed second entry long, triggered the long, came down, stopped you out. The bar triggered, pushed up, so it was a bit shifty, that was, of the market. So I'm not sure now. I was thinking it was coming down, but the way that's rocketed up, well, maybe you're wrong. 50% retracement of this. Yeah, we don't really do the fib tool much, do we? But perhaps I should start. Is that it? No. We don't use the fib tool much, but perhaps I should. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's go right to the nearest tick. So yeah, look at that. Wow, 50%. So that would think, yeah, we got this leg down, 2 legs up, and then push down. So perhaps if your stop's above here, you may be okay. But the way that's just rocketed up has just made me think, are we coming down? But yeah, I don't think there's any problem with popping this tool up and having a quick look. But based on where we started and where we finished before we started pulling back, look how we've retraced right to that 50% line. I mean, literally, that can't be random. That can't be luck. So, good point there, Bob. I know Mac doesn't use this. I have seen him get it out before to talk about it. Also, buyers bought the 50% retracement of the move up. So the move up, 50, okay, I think I know what you're saying. Let me just get rid of this and get rid of it. Okay, so of the move up, 50% the move up. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. That's why we've had that push. So the move up would be from there to there, and the 50% would be, wow, look at that. Yeah. As soon as we get that 50% retracement for the move up, woof, straight up. Interesting. Okay, there's no denying that, is there? Look where that is fallen. I could probably take that down a fraction, which would look even better. Yeah, look at that. Wow. I've used this before, but when I very first started trading currency, but you don't see anybody talking about it. But well, based on the last couple of times I've just got it out, it clearly reacted there, didn't it? And I suppose the same here, really. So interesting. So well, perhaps when they're buying this is just maybe to get back in here or retest the highs. See, I'm not sure whether we're coming up or down. We may end up just going a bit sideways. So good point there, Bob. That we may end up going a bit sideways. It's possible. That's another reason why I trade. We get all sorts of people on here with their ways of doing things, and sometimes they're interested and they can help you out and give you another, perspective. And I know that they can work pretty well, but I didn't realise they would be that accurate. Not twice in a row. So if you are looking to sort of trade at a certain area, it is maybe useful to know that. So, interesting comment there, Bob. It's part of why I kind of like streaming. And the Yorkshire tea, of course. But yeah, trading time. You want to have a go at streaming, go for it, mate. Try it. If you don't get on with it, you don't have to carry it on. It's relatively straightforward. I use OBS. That sets things up. It's a bit fiddly to start. I'm not the techiest person out there, but if I can manage it, anyone can. What kind of tea? Yorkshire tea, my friend. Yorkshire tea. I know some of you American guys struggle to say that a bit, don't you? It's like Worcestershire sauce. We actually don't call it Worcestershire sauce. We just call it Worcester sauce. But obviously you pronounce things a bit different, which makes it a little bit tricky for you to say. But Yorkshire tea, that's it. Should I search up video that shows me how to set it up? You can do. There are some out there. It's not that difficult, in all fairness. It's just a bit of a learning experience. The OBS I use, I found it difficult getting all the mic and that set up. And setups, you've got things like gain and that. So if all of a sudden I become very loud on the mic, it kills it. And if I'm quite quiet, it lifts it up a bit. So there are settings there. The only thing I found a bit difficult is the videos out there. A lot of them are about 3 years old, and OBS has updated itself. So I had to search a bit. But once you get the OBS sorted out, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Have a play around with it. If anything, it's a learning curve and a bit of fun and interesting. Yeah, he is Brant, isn't it? I don't quite know what to think about that, because I think Wilson struggles a lot of the time. He blew 20 accounts, PA accounts a few months back, didn't he? And I think he still struggles a bit. So I wouldn't have the. I couldn't charge anyone. Not only that. I think I've only been doing it, a couple of 3 years. I'd be cheeky doing it. The fact is, I've had massive amounts of help from lots of other people, from you guys, from guys on the WhatsApp, and I just feel wrong about doing that, to be honest with you. Fee Wilson lost 32 points. Yeah. He's a nice guy. I've chatted with him a few times. He's a nice guy, but sometimes he looks quite like a nervous trader. Some of his trades seem a bit in the wrong direction, and I don't know. This is my opinion, but he's a lovely guy. But I wouldn't have the cheek to charge personally, because I've had so many people that have helped me out get where I am. I spent a long time messaging people, and I got loads of help. So I would have to make $1 million before I sell it. Yeah, I mean, you're never going to make anything out of. I see what you mean. Yeah. No, from a YouTube perspective, you're never really going to make anything. I got monetized, which pays me around about $30 a month from that. But you do get some payments from you guys using my code. It doesn't cost you anything, but you make a bit from that, and that covers your trading. But I enjoy doing it because I get to chat with people all over the world, and people help me out and give me advice, and hopefully people see me trading and compare yours to mine, and sometimes two heads are better than one. So there's a higher low there, but it's a bit congested. So, but do you remember, Brant, when Wilson was trading on a sim? Was he trading about 30 contracts? He was killing it. I thought this guy's brilliant, and as soon as he started doing apex evaluations and he turned into a completely different trader. I couldn't quite work that out. Anytime, mate. Anytime. No, I don't mind helping anybody else out. As far as I'm concerned, it's not us and them. It's us and us. We're all in it together, aren't we? So I got no issues with helping people out. But yeah, Wilson killed it on a. Okay, so maybe we are. Wilson killed it on a sim. He was just. I remember seeing. I thought, "Who is this guy? He's really good." And then as soon as he, because a lot of people said he was earning real money. He'd made $1 million and all this. There was quite a bit of chatter going around, and then all of a sudden I see him started to do evaluations. But it just goes to show the difference between a sim and when you're trading for a real. It's a world apart once those emotions kick in. But he's a lovely guy, Wilson, and I do watch his trades just to see what he saw. But yeah, I wouldn't charge anyone. Not just that, you're committed. You've got to continue to do if you're charging people. I like the fact that I can take a day off if I want, or stop trading if I want, or whatever. But once you start charging people, really, you're committed, and I kind of like the freedom. What you think? Give us second long. Second entry long. Yeah, obviously I wouldn't take anything up here because we're up at the top, but if we can get something down here, it does look like, for some reason, Mac had a break here. I can't see how, personally, because my chart, it fits, well, better than perfect. But what I will say is when we've come in, we've made a bit of a bottoming pattern, so, there is a possibility that could be like that, and there may be a bit of an overshoot, so, I think it's likely we are continuing up now. I think we've gone up far enough. Now, once these measured leg played out and it came back here, I think we're moving up. So I'd certainly be looking for a long trade somewhere around, ideally here and not here. I'm not a fan of taking them here because sometimes they trug you and come back down, but I'll use Apex Eval for a sim. Okay, so I know what you're saying. So instead of paying the license, yeah, I think that's what you mean. That's a good idea, that is. I know another guy I said was going to trade, wanted to trade, but the downside is you get the free version, but you don't get the ATM automated strategy. So if you say like, let's think, if you get an evaluation which, let's say, charges you 80% a month, you can trade on that account with only paying $33 a month for as long as you like, so you're not forced to pay. So I think it's a good idea. Did he finally admit he was on a sim? I can't remember, but I know there was a conversation about it maybe a year or so ago on the Facebook group, and someone said, I don't know, I remember seeing one day he lost $15,000 because I remember putting a post thinking, oh my God, that guy must be in a fortune if he can lose that. And someone said, oh, he's not, it's a sim, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. And then someone jumped in and says, I know him, he's a respectable guy. He made $1 million last year. And then a few months later, he started, I noticed he was doing Apex evaluations, which I thought was odd if he was, making a ton of money, but I don't know. But he did put something on there that he doesn't, he's not saying he's doing it for real or whatever, but he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I have a little chit chat with him, a couple of comments here and there. I wish everyone, I know how tough this business is, so I don't wish anyone, any malice or something, but no, the thought of charging people, and people have helped me, charging some people in the future, no, I couldn't do that. I don't know how many people I've asked for help and no one's ever charged me for it. There's been nights where I haven't been able to sleep because I can't figure something out, and I've messaged someone on the other side of the world, and I've always got, so I like to think that, as I grow in experience and you get newer guys in, you help them, and you just, it's all about helping each other. There's no real competition in this business because, another trader sat next to you in a room, it's not like he's taking some of your business. It's, it's an individual thing. There's no business competition at all. So I like the fact that, people have helped me and I'll help people as I sort of gain more and more experience. Penguin guy. Now, the Penguin guy is a bit different. I think he's a good trader. He's a very technical trader. He's very good at reading the cards, reading the bars, and he does put down his losses, and he averages really good points-wise, so I think he's a good trader. Now, if I didn't spend so much of my time with my trading and that, I would absolutely pay. And if he decided to stream live, I would absolutely pay to have him on a separate screen in my ear, because I like him. Yeah, he does, absolutely. He's taken something, whether he's taken it from Mac and developed it himself, and I think he's really successful at it. But I like the fact that he does show his losses. He's not ashamed to show his losses, and I think if someone only ever shows winners, and he shows his losses, he shows trades he misses, and I think he's an authentic guy, I do. I try to sort of, try to pay attention to what he's doing, hopefully, so I got the confidence at some point maybe to wait. If I was going to take a second entry in a nice uptrend, have the confidence maybe to sort of hold a bit. But there are people out there, but if, as far as I'm concerned, if someone's good at something, they're on my radar, because if they can help me at some point, and Wilson was good enough to give me a copy of his trade tracker, his Excel spreadsheet trade tracker thing. So he's a nice guy. And he had some time off a while ago. I think it was getting to him, and I sent him a message saying all the best. So as far as I'm concerned, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. It's not easy. It is hard at times, and sometimes it's just nice to have that little bit of support or someone else to chat to who's got, who's feeling it, because we all get to that stage in our, trading journey where we really feel bloody low and frustrated to shit, basically. That's off you. You take trades live. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not something. I just think it's lucky that I'm quite a talkative talk aloud speaker, and it sort of suits maybe my personality. But I get some people say, "Oh, I couldn't do it. I need to focus." I suppose sometimes I can tend to watch what I'm doing and just rattle off. My sort of mouth's got a brain of its own sometimes, but I can watch what's going on and still sort of chatter in the background. So I think I'm just a bit gobby like that. It suits me. Trades life for yeah. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not. I wish more people would do it, to be honest with it. But I love for Mac to do it. I just sit there with a great big wad of money and copy. But I'm certainly happier now. I've got this faster internet and we can chat about trades, because sometimes I'm not sure, and that's why I ask you guys, what do you think of this? Sometimes I'm not sure. So it's nice to have, a bunch of heads together. It's better, isn't it? Better than one. Do any one of you get fatigued at about this time? I used to, not so much. I used to struggle with my patience a bit, and I did used to feel a bit worn out. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But I'm kind of okay at the moment. I'm quite. You guys can tell anyway, the way I don't shut up. I'm quite wired anyway. But yeah, it can require a lot of concentration, can't it? And not just that, the emotions as well can get you. So I suppose that whole, nerves, excitement, emotions as well, it can weigh you down a little bit. Hopefully, we might have a break in a leg. We may get something here for lucky if it's continuing up. Let's take that again. So, little small micro trend channel. So hopefully if we can have a break and get here, maybe get something on the way up. So we've touched here. I think that's close enough. We've touched there. We've touched 3 times on the backside. So if we can land here in the right place, I think that's good enough to say we're in this channel. Once you start getting mega rich, do this, you'll stop. I may do, you never know. I may do. I don't know. Depends what you mean by mega rich. Do you know, for me though, because like you guys, you're stuck in a room by yourself. It's boring, isn't it? So I kind of like the idea of, I don't do this to sort of you don't make money on YouTube. I do it to, so if people are watching me, I'm less likely to do something stupid. And I do like the fact that I'm chatting to people. And I talked to my wife about it. I was chatting with someone in Brazil today. I was chatting from someone in Israel. I love the fact that I'm stuck in a spare room in the middle of Shropshire in a tiny village in the UK, and I'm chatting with people all right. I love that. So no, I've got no plans to stop this. It's fun. And I love chatting with people. Sometimes I'll get messages, from people. I think sometimes you guys forget that when I get a message at 3 o'clock in the morning UK time. But no, if I wake up, I still answer it. You'll get a bottle of whiskey when you sign up for his membership. Yeah, that's it. No, I enjoy doing it. It's more just chit-chatting with other people. That's good fun. Yeah. But in all honesty, I would love to get mega rich, but I don't know. I think you've got to be pretty special to do it in this business. But I like to think that sometime in the not so distant future, it will be really nice to say I pay myself currently $20,000 a month, which $2,000 from 10 accounts When you think about it like that, it's not a lot. So that is my goal, to withdraw $2,000 out of 10 accounts. And bearing in mind, you can have 20 accounts, so that's my plan. Need to bore my, yeah, I know. I'm hoping, in fact, I thought, if you remember last time we had that offer, it went back to the 50% off, and it said it was going to do it for a week, and then after 2 days, all of a sudden it jumped in with this 90% off. So I think what they realise is when they go back to the 50% off and 50% off resets, no bugger buys them. So makes sense. If it's 90% off and people are buying 10 times the amount, you're going to make more money. Although, Lance, you will charge a membership. Absolutely not. I can categorically tell you I will never charge someone for trading, purely and simply because if you're making decent money at trading, you don't need money for watching us. You don't need it. And not just that, people have genuinely helped me. I used to post my chart for the first year or so, year and a half, on the Facebook group and asked for feedback, and I got loads of comments and loads of messages. As far as I'm concerned, people have helped me on my journey to where I am now, and hopefully are going to continue to help me. So I'd never charge anybody. I absolutely 100% mean that. If you're making money at trading, you don't need to. I may charge you, Ryan, just as a special one-off. No, it doesn't interest me. I'm hoping here we get 2 legs down here. Let's go from here. No, I like to think people have helped me, and I like to think it's paying it forward. It's helping other people. You know, the only person that's charged me is Mac, and as far as I'm concerned, he's a 25-year veteran, and he deserves the right to be honest with you. But the measly £125 he charges me is peanuts. So even to me, he's almost giving it away to me. So no, absolutely not. I don't know why they don't give you resets at 90%. Yeah. I've said this before, Sam, and I'll say it again. I think 80% will be the new norm, and they may keep that extra 10% as a little extra. But I don't see why, because obviously it takes them time to adjust computers and, send emails out and all that when they go from, 50% to 80%. Sometimes it might be easier. And Apex have this habit of trying to bring out this new rule which blows away the competition. So I think at some point we can expect, right from now on, we charge 90% off forever, flat, that's it. None of the competition are going to do that. I think they'll come up with something spectacular like that, personally. Because I only buy the 80 and 90% offs now, and I think most others do the same. So that's what I think will happen. But I would love to. The trouble is, we get the 90% off. My eval count's going to start. It's in the 300s and 400s. I do wonder if it helps sometimes, but I got to say, it can be expensive to learn to trade. So it's nice that maybe newer guys who want to have a go at having the feeling. Because when I started taking evaluations about maybe a year and a half ago, I think I paid about $140 through Earn to Trade, something like that. And then I was paying $75 a time through Apex, and I bought quite a lot at that price. But when you can get them down to $16, it's a world of difference. Where are you going? I mean, they'll definitely... Okay, that's a good sign. That will be quite nice, that leg down, get round me. They'll definitely sell a lot more. There's no argument, and I know that because I'm an affiliate. And if you guys use my code, I know when you guys use the code. In the last 3 days, I think it's been used 3 times. In the last month, it's been used about 130 times, something like that. So there's a world of difference. So they're, I would believe, in my opinion, as good as losing money when they haven't got these offers on. So I wouldn't be shocked. I think they've said Let me have a look. I think they said it's on for a week, but I wouldn't be shocked if it lasts that long. Let me have a look. No, it usually says it on the dashboard somewhere. I'm pretty sure they did it for a week, I think. What time am I logging off today? Usually about 5:30 UK time, so about another 35 minutes. Sometimes if things are starting to look nice and I'm feeling kind of patient, I may sit here another half an hour. I did yesterday. So half an hour to an hour, somewhere around about that. Let's have a look. Okay, ends Thursday. No, that's already done, that one. Okay. When does it finish? It finishes August the 18th, which is Friday, I think, isn't it? Yeah, so it finishes Friday, 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 18th. I'm sure the 18th is Friday. I think it's Friday. So I would say in for the weekend, then we'll have the 80% off. I can't see what else they'll do. So that's good news. So yeah, 80%. And I think, personally, I would say 80% off, and maybe the week before Labor Day weekend, which is this finishes Friday, so 2 weekends away, 2 weeks away. I think the other Labor, you guys know better than me, the Labor Day weekend. So I wouldn't be shocked if we had the 80% off for a week, and then a week leading up to it and a week during it, the other 90% off. I would expect something like that. That's when you get paid. Can you take? Yes, you can. I did that on my first and second payouts, or first and third payouts. Trouble is, you're only left with $600. Well, actually, you're only left with $500 because your drawdown stops at 50,100. And both times I took a stupid gamble to try and get lucky and get it up quick, and it failed. So this time round, I only took the $2,000 I've got this month. I took just out of two of them, 1,000 off each. So I left $1,600 back in last week. So that's what I'm going to do. Just plan to the 4 I've got next month, or in a month's time. These should hopefully be up somewhere around about the $3,000. Maybe I'll take 1,000 out from all 4 of them. And I'll continue 1,000 a month, all being well, until it builds up to 5,000, and then I'll start taking 2,000, which should give me $8,000 a month, and then whatever other PA accounts will just continue to build that I can acquire in the meantime. I'll continue to build, but it is a building process. I've tried to rush it in the past, and I just learned the hard way that sometimes you just got to sit there, and if you don't get a trade for the day, then it's part of it. And I kind of, when I don't get a trade for the day, I kind of give myself a pat on the back that I haven't succumbed to patience and taken something a bit stupid. I'm not saying there hasn't been trades. I'm just in that sort of alleyway of waiting for really obvious ones at the moment. So perhaps I'm maybe being a bit overcautious from time to time, but I'd rather go from being careless to overcautious. You're obviously not going to lose money by being overcautious, and then I think it's about trying to find some balance where you take trades that are there, but some obviously are a lot more obvious than others. I mean, that one coming down a minute. I'll just quickly shoot back to, excuse me, the one yesterday. Where was it? I can't remember where it was now. Was it here? Was that it or not? It was like a second entry short. I can't remember where it was. But it was a nice second entry short. Funny enough, Mac didn't put it down for some reason. I don't know why, but it was a bit more obvious. We were coming down, and it was 1 leg, 2 leg bearish bar. It was about as second entry, that sort of second entry short. in a slightly smaller scale on a downtrend. It was about as basic of a second entry short as you can find, and I tended to try and look for that. I looked at that triple test 30 minutes ago. Yeah, trouble is, triple tests I think work better when you bounce once, twice, 3 times and then continue up, which we're going up at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but for me a triple test would be bounce once, twice, 3 times. In other words, we've pushed up and we tried to go down, but it's failed 3 times and then we push up. So I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm right, but my understanding of triple test is you take them, it tries to go in the opposite direction from where you've been moving. So if it bounces once, twice, 3 times, and then we get something bullish, then I expected it to continue on up. Sorry, mate, have I just been rabbiting for nothing? You took that triple test 30 minutes ago. It's down here, didn't you? That one there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, got you. Got you. Sorry, mate, I thought you were looking for, I didn't read it properly. I thought you were looking for a triple test here to come down. My apologies, I read that wrong. So I was hoping we were going to get back to this side a bit. So leg. Just no entry there really. We've got this bit of a channel, breaking a new low, higher low, can't take that really. Close to the lows, not a brilliant signal bar. Fail second entry long. Oh yeah, I got you. Okay, so leg down there, couple of legs up. I don't think it's going to come back down here by the looks of things. Yeah. So that one, was it, or something? Yeah. Or that one. Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we're still working in this. We didn't come back to this side. I thought we might do. $14.29 here. Yeah. In fact, yeah, there is a small channel there, isn't there? A little micro channel with a break and a new low. You could more or less say, depending on how you're drawn that. In fact, you could even maybe argue that there's possibly a little spike up. In fact, that probably. You may argue there's a spike up with a channel there. Touch. I get what you're saying there. Yeah, a little break, new low, bullish bar. It fits nice there, doesn't it? I just wish it'd be a bit steeper. In fact, it's not terrible, is it? I mean, if it pushes up a bit higher, I may drag it back down, but it kind of looks like we got a spike out and we started from there. Touch. So there is a lot of congestion here and here. So let's zoom out and have a look. Let me just get rid of this. See, I thought for a minute we were going to, after this leg and leg, we're going to continue down. So by that nature, I think Matt was right there. Maybe there is a break, although it's not obvious on my chart. Now, what I will say, and sometimes you notice this, that bar there is relatively bearish. Another tick below, that would be red. You could say it's bearish. Now, sometimes on my chart, I see a bar like that, And sometimes on someone else's chart, I'll see a bar like that. Now, they both give you the same information, but the only thing I could say with Max is it's all red. So it's still saying it's a bearish bar, but whereas mine's more of a bearish pin bar, Max more of a... So that may be why mine fits better than his. I can't quite see on Max. It's not that clear, but I will have a look later. But yeah, you can have a bearish bar which is completely red, and you can have a bearish bar which looks like that. And sometimes mine will look like that, and someone else's chart will look more like that, giving you the same information but looking different, and that may well be why his is showing a break. And based on this movement up here, it's correct. We have had a break, and obviously that looked like a bottoming pattern. That does look like sort of a couple of legs, doesn't it? Okay, so where we've come off here, that actually, I mean, look at that, really. It fits like a glove in all fairness, doesn't it? We go from a spike here, touch there, touch there, touch there, touch, touch. It fits really nicely, that does. Okay, so far so good. So I'm just going to chuck that over there out of the way. So leg down. I like this, leg down. If you have a break, we may get down to this side now. So fingers crossed. Okay, so let's get our leg tool. Maybe something like that, possibly. Let's just hold it there for now. Get a bit of a break in another leg, and that might give us something to go long, hopefully. Okay, may not even get that then. Okay, that's still a leg, a little bit of sideways and another leg, so that's all right for me, that. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Leg and leg. Okay, so that's fitting quite nice there. It does look like a little leg and a bit of sideways and another leg. So if we finish around here and then maybe consider holding it. It's certainly slowing down here, so we may hopefully continue on up. Okay, now we really need a break out of this. This may be a break of the channel. It's possible. I'd like to see a break before I think about going low. Long. But also, it may be just getting a bit choppy. So, okay, so bullish bar here, not interested. One, we're in this channel, so you don't want to be going along when you're in the channel, really, because obviously the channel's going down at the moment. And in a lot of cases, if you go long here, a lot of cases will break and make a new low, which will take out any stop you may have. Now, that's not to say it's not going to just rocket up from there. It could do, but okay. I'm glad that's come out a bit because that plays that leg out a little better. So let's put that like that to about like that. So we've pushed down, gone a little bit sideways, and we're around about where we should be there. So okay, still in the channel. There's nothing we can really do there. There is a possibility, maybe not, no. I'd say there was a possibility of a slight overshoot, but I don't really think there is. There is a possibility of a slight overshoot. Possible. I'm going to keep that tight to there, and there is a little bit. Whether it'll mean anything or not, I don't know. But looking on the 10,000 tick chart, we've sliced straight through that EMA. And mostly we've been above it for quite a while. So... yeah, so that's the only one I think was maybe a bit obvious. The only downside is we're very close to lows and it is a big ass bar. And on my chart, we hadn't broken. Obviously, that bearish bar on my chart might look like a full bearish bar on Mac's chart. I couldn't quite say. So I think someone said they took that one. So we've got a channel down, break new low. You could say that confirms there. So I don't think that's a terrible place to go long. My only slight concern with that is because we haven't got a break on my chart. It could be a leg and a leg, and then we could slice through, trigger, and then come down. But it depends how you read the chart. See, for me, it's not a break there. So this will be the first break, and a lot of the times it'll do that. We'll do a leg and a leg, and then it'll start working its way down. Sometimes it'll break and just drop. So there's still a possibility we could come down. A lot of the times we'll do that. We'll break from a channel, we'll piss around for a while, and then we'll eventually drop. but I don't know. At the moment, we're clearly moving up, but obviously with that break, who knows? It's not as steep a channel as I'd like it. Now, someone told me the less steep the channel, the less reliable they are. So it depends. It doesn't look steep like that, but when you do it like that, it's not so bad. So we just have to keep an eye on that. On the break, slight overshoot on this channel here. And the break came. I personally drew mine with there's a bloody little icon on the end of my thing. With oh, that's better. Move out of the way. Okay, with a slight overshoot, the break came shortly after. You all about this channel here, are you, bud? So did you draw that like this? Let me have a look. Yes, see, the trouble is that kind of works as well. In fact, actually, I actually prefer that slightly better. On the down. Oh, I see what you mean down there. Yeah, yeah. As I mentioned, a lot of the times a bearish bar that looks like a bearish pin bar can be a full red candle. In other words, it's telling you the same information, really. They're both bearish, although I prefer the pin bars because it means it's been pushed up by the bulls and then the bears have overtaken it and yanked that down. So downtrend where you're contemplating a break or not. Yeah, I know what you mean. So I'm not sure I feel about that, whether it's going from here. In fact, it kind of works both ways. I think whatever happens, this is a break. So whether you treat that from the bottom of there or whether you take it as maybe a spike in a channel, it kind of fits okay. That probably fits slightly better. Either way, for me, it's clearly a channel. It's confirmed a few times and the top side. So this is a break. So you would usually expect it to, pull back in, but sometimes these markets can be a little bit sly and surprise you. Some days I'll sit here and I'll think it's going to do this and it does that and it does exactly the same. It's really predictable. Other days it just throws you a curveball and I wasn't expecting that. So, okay, so let's consider this a break. I don't think we've had an overshoot here. That works okay. So whether you have it here or here, I don't think it matters either way. This is a break to me. So let's see what happens. Instead, a trend line indicator shows like, let me have a look. For some reason, there's a little bloody love art, which if I highlight, it gives me a smiley face on my end of the stream, and it covers the last words until someone else comments. Then just trade at 8. Trend line indicator shows like something. I can't see it. Like something. What Land says? Trend channel. I'll try and see if I can get rid of that because it's a ball ache. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so okay, I got you. Yeah. See, it fits on mine, lovely. But as I mentioned, sometimes I've seen my chart, and my chart's a full bearish red candle, and someone else's might be a bearish pin bar. Now, if that slightly bearish bar was a full red one, it would show like a break. See, so. So it's interesting that, isn't it? Because sometimes it might be exactly the same information, but obviously on my chart, I'll have to have a look later when Mac posts his chart. I'll be able to blow it up and have a look. It doesn't allow you to blow it up, and it's not very good quality, so it's hard to zoom in a little bit. But I'll have a look later. But I mean, there's no argument. It does, in all fairness, whether that is you have it on your chart or not. This does look like a bottoming pattern. And then we've pushed up, and I thought we may have a couple of legs and come down, but in all fairness, it does seem like we're continuing higher. So whether we will stop at some point and carry on down, possible, or maybe Maybe we'll continue up, I don't know. But it's certainly got a bearish feel for the day. We had this big push, then we had this little pullback up sideways, and then another big push and up a couple of legs, and maybe a bit choppy sideways a bit, but we may get a leg down. I don't know. There's all sorts of possibilities, and I like to talk through them because it helps me sort of understand what I'm looking at. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we got a little channel there, no argument there. Second entry long, second entry short, yeah, which way to go? Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I mean, you would normally think break of a channel, we try to make a new extreme, and it has tried to push up, but okay, so maybe it will work. I don't know, these just the breaks with the new extremes seem a little bit less reliable at the moment. Probably because when we're ranging, I think it's less important than it as a break and a new high in a when it's ranging, because normally, even if we've had a break, if the channel's actually already hit the top of the range, a lot of the times we'll have a break of it, people will be going long and it'll just continue down. So it's trying, but struggling a bit. See, it's looking like we may get a second entry short, but I don't know how I feel about going short in that lot, because at the moment we're clearly going up and we've had a break. So a break would generally, you know, we'd think that we would be making a new high, but it's not always the case. So there's we're still in this channel. Okay, so that's first entry. If that broke above there, it may trap some shorts, or it may just come down, who knows. If we do get a bearish bar there though, and it triggers, there is a possibility of a failure there. Failed second entry short trapping, failed second entry short trapping the shorts. It's just something about this I don't like. Something about the whole channel I don't like. I think if you're unsure, the safest protocol is just to stay out of it and let it go without you, whichever way it's going to go. Okay, so that's pushed above it now. So if this comes down bearish, it's a second entry short. Now I can't take that because at the moment we're going up and this is a break. And I would expect, if it is a second entry short and it triggers, to stop it out. Normally a channel like that with a second entry short would be a good trade to take, because, you know, it's comfortably 2 points even, you know, from here down to the main bodies. But obviously at the moment we're moving up. Okay, that doesn't materialise anyway. So this may be a failure. Second entry short, trigger, push up. I don't think there's no way. No. Yeah, it's not too late for a second entry short if this pulls down. And that would be nice actually to trigger and then give us a failed second entry short, which would give us a leg up, a break, and another leg up hopefully. No, it's sort of gone without us, really, I think, isn't it? I think the general consensus when you have a break, we push higher, and obviously we got a low here, and that one's a bit higher, and this is our last ditch attempt. If this comes bearish below here, that may trigger some short traders, and then if it triggers and pushes up, then we may get our trade. I'm not holding out hope. Stay bearish, come on. Okay, that's quite a good sign. Second entry short. If that triggers short, we may get a leg up and a leg up. That's if it triggers short, which is not looking like it's going to. Come on, come down, you bugger. Okay, so far so good. Now
Order submitted.
Kind of like that, in fact.
Order cancelled.
You could take that on the engulfing. I'm just going to sit tight with a limit order.
Order submitted.
Turn around. Well, it's not materialized. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Order cancelled.
Channel working nice. We had a break. Higher low. Second entry short. Triggered. Could adjust that a fraction to there. Still works. It could still work. Let's get an order ready. It may still
Order
work.
submitted.
Push up, pull back, another leg up. Failed second entry short. Got your 5 ticks, did you? Yeah. Wow.
Order cancelled.
That's not what I expected. Break. Second entry short worked. Interesting. I don't think you can adjust this. No, not a fan of that, I've got to say. Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought after that break, and it's all fitting rather nice there. We pushed up strong like that, and that triggered. I thought that was going to go up, and we may have had one leg, two leg. Maybe got us up close to the midline or something. In all fairness, on the 10,000 tick chart, it's almost starting to look bearish. We've had a sort of couple of legs up, a little bit of sideways. We've pushed down below the EMA, pulled up, dropped. It's looking bearish to me, the 10,000. I don't know what you guys think about that. Pull down, push up, a little bit over the EMA, then down, a little bit over the EMA, then it's hard to say. Got to be careful here. That could trap longs in personally. It's below the EMA that. I'd have to wait for the higher low, but I think that is a bit risky personally. May work. I hope it does if anybody takes it, but for me, especially after you've had those 3 bars come down like that, this has just got caution written on it. EMA's flat as hell. So I'm not a fan of this. I think that's going to get stopped out. I do. It just doesn't look right to me. Yeah, risky. Yeah, sometimes you can just get a feel. After a while, I think you can just look at it, and when something doesn't feel right, it's usually for a good reason. It may work because there is a channel up, but there's something about it I don't like. Would you take a lower high? You on about take a short? I don't really want to take a short at all. I don't want to take a long or a short here at the moment. Lower high will indicate trap the shorts. The trouble is, we are at the moment, let me just get rid of this, it's in the way, we are still making higher highs. We pulled down here, that's higher, so we are making higher highs, so that may work, it may push up. Okay, so it is working out, maybe a higher low for me. That's triggered now, so it could come down and take both of those out. Oh, it's looking like it is, isn't it? It's just something about this. It's sideways, it's risky. Let's have a look. The way that's turned down, I'd say that's almost definitely going to stop that out. Yeah. Be interested to see if it stops that one out as well. So, interesting. The plot thickens. I don't like this at all. It's sideways and it's dangerous. So, there's the lower high if you want to go short. I'm not going short because if you look, so far we're still getting higher lows. So who knows? We may have a second entry long here, but it's a bit choppy if you look at it. And it could be a bit dangerous there. And part of the reason for that, I think, well, I say part of the reason, it's looking to me slightly bearish on the 10,000 tick chart. We've pushed strongly below it. So it's hard to say at the moment, but it's just too risky for me at the moment. So if you did take that one, nice, but you know, after that push up, actually it's not really a setup anyway, is it? So you probably didn't, but if you did, see the way it just triggered, all of a sudden just dropped, taken out by 1 tick. That's why in a lot of these types of scenario I usually give it an extra tick, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, if you're going to take that for a lower high, but to me it's got danger written all over it because it's just chopping sideways at the moment, so it's dangerous because if you go short there, you know, times like this you can get multiple traps. So if you took that one, it'll break and stop you out. If you took that one, it'll trigger you, push up and stop you out. So at the moment for me, we've moved up in this channel, so I would still think I can't go short until it at least tries to make a new high. But that's what I mean, we could get multiple traps here. So if you took that one as the failure, it triggered you, stop you out. You took that one as a lower high, so far you're in the trade, it's triggered you, but that could go up and stop you out. So that's the trouble sometimes. It's, you know, 1 minute it looks like we're coming down, and that might just turn tail quickly and push up. And that's the thing I like about the more time you spend on the charts, you notice these little areas to stay out of. And usually it's for good enough reason. You know, I mean, you say, okay, so there's your failure, yeah? Short there, pushed up, triggered you, stopped you out, didn't take that short out from the failure. So you'd expect to go high to, you know, to push up. So this, I think there are indicators sometimes, there's indications on when to stay out, because for me, it just looks not right. You can tell the obvious trades, they literally jump out and wave in front of you. You're in this short. Okay, I'd rather be short than long, put it that way. But we are bouncing off the bottoms after we've had a break of an uptrend, so it's hard to say. Stops at 72.50. Okay. I wouldn't like to be in either, really. I think I'd rather be short in that than anything else. But for me, it's bouncing multiple times, and this could be a triple test once, twice, 3 times and up. We've actually broken out of this channel. We've gone sideways. We haven't necessarily gone down, so it could bounce 3 times and then push up. So actually, I'd rather be not in a short trade. I'd rather be in nothing, in all fairness. But I hope it does go. I hope it does come down for you. But 4 to 6 ticks, you've got it. Yeah, trouble is, even going short below there in a sideways range where you've got hardly any distance is a bit risky, unless you know what you're doing. And you may be a lot more experienced than me, so it might be something that you trade and it works for you. So yeah, there's a point and a quarter there, maybe 0.9 possibly. See, at the moment, the picture is we're moving up in a channel. We've had a break out of it, and we know, you know, what usually happens after a break. But there again, sometimes it'll try to go higher a bunch of times, and obviously the bulls will give up the ghost and it'll just drop. It took 1 point, yeah. It is a bit risky because it's clearly struggling to get below there. It may just drop down. But what usually helps it is the fact that there are trap long traders in there, and in all fairness, there probably isn't. That channel, that relatively bullish bar, is at the bottom of the channel, so it might not be enough to go long there. So usually as it comes down and eats up the short stops, that gives it that little bit extra momentum. And but for me, this could be a triple test and then a continuation up. I don't like picking tops and bottoms. If I was going to take something here, it would have to look like that, in all fairness. Like 1, 2, and then 3, but that's just too far away from there. And as you guys know, I hate picking bottoms. We'll see how this finishes. It could be failure 2 here, but you're absolutely right about support. Yeah, because usually in an uptrend, when it breaks and it struggles to drop a few times, that's usually when you'll get your triple tests. It'll try once, twice, 3 times, but also trying to push up a few times and failing is just as it's just enough reason for it to give up and drop. So that obviously sideways, I suppose it indicates that there's a little bit of uncertainty. Are we going up or are we going down? But I would certainly say after a break of a channel, it's more likely to go up and retest the highs than it is to come down. 1, 2, 3. It is a triple test, but I'm not a fan of where the bar is. I much prefer it to drop out here and then sit right on there. Oh dear. See, sometimes again, there's a possible failure there. Now that might work, but a lot of times you'll get these failures. It'll drop below, push up and sit bullish on here, and then stop that out, and that out. I'm not saying it's going to, but I have seen that before. See, you think we've pushed up here, try to go one stronger twice, there's a failure. A failure right at the bottom is risky to me because it, as I say, it can trigger you sometimes and then off it goes. And if it does drop down, trigger this and then sit right on here, then I think that will be a good enough reason for traders to get in to go long. But I'll tell you something now, there's way more shorts in this than there are longs. One leg up, two legs up. There may have been some shorts there, quite possibly there. If that triggers, there'll be some there. I can't see. Any longs that were in there are out. The only other place, there may be some longs, but the trouble is it's actually in that channel, so that's not a great place to go long, really. So there's certainly more short traders stuck in this. Target before what? Where did you say you were again? 72. Oh, that's your stop, isn't it? So your stop's up, okay. See, it may trigger that and push. Yeah, don't let whatever I say affect your trade. Sometimes when people talk negative about a trade you might be in, it affects your bias. It's right under the support. Yeah, sometimes where it does test support a lot of the times, then sometimes it'll just break through quickly, which is good news for you because it'll let you stop and then it may push higher. So I'd like to think it would trigger that, and if it does trigger that bar there, I'm guessing it's going to hit your take profit anyway, so that'll be good for you. And then hopefully we may. I mean, I'm not in a trade anyway, so it doesn't matter either way to me. But it has gone bloody slow all of a sudden, isn't it? But yeah, it's looking a bit. Well, it was looking a bit bearish on this after we had this push down and this. It's still maybe looking a bit bearish, but it is looking quite flat on the bottom there. So it's only really showing us what we've got here. There's no more of a bigger picture, but it may, hopefully, I'll come down and give you points. I hate being stuck in trades, I do. I find it brutal. I don't mind being in a trade for maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds, but once you've been in it for a few minutes, it's horrible. I just start to lose my confidence in the trade then, and I try and look for a way out. I admire you for sitting in it though, bud. It takes a lot of balls sitting there sometimes in a trade when it's going sideways. I hate it, honestly. In all honesty, I'd rather either lose quick or win quick rather than sit in it. I still hate losing. It doesn't affect me as much. It depends. If I take a trade I believe to be a good trade, then I can deal with it. If I take a trade that I thought, oh shit, that's a bit risky, they're the ones that frustrate me a bit. But if it looks like a genuine trade, and there's not many I take now that I don't know either straight away after why it went wrong. But if I don't know, then it's a lesson for me. It's a learning curve. So it does look like it's going to break below that low there. Hopefully for you, there may be a few longs in here. It's possible for the triple test. So if it does break below there, you might get a quick push of a tick or two. But map shows strong liquidity on the lower side. Yeah, the longer that liquidity goes back, so 65, there's some here for sure. Now, the longer it goes back, to my understanding, the longer it's been there, the more chance it's got of not hitting it. I think so 65, 44, 65, I think is pretty safe. That's my understanding. And where we've got the shorter lines, they're more likely to hit those. That's my understanding. So we may, yeah, see, I still think we're going to push up now, but hopefully we'll let your take profit before we do. Waiting for buyers to show up. Yeah, so we're at 68. There's not much really. There's a bit below 68, so there's a bit here. So what they may do is when it ticks below, that's when buyers may come in. But there is stuff around 66. There is stuff popping up around 66 and a quarter, which is around about here. So if we do have, I suppose the good thing is for you, but if we do drop below there, it may drop a few ticks quickly. And that might trigger these buy orders. But if there is longs in this trade, see, a lot of the times they scale in, don't they? I'll be surprised now if it doesn't drop below there quickly. But the longer it takes, the more chance it's got of going up, because there is shorts in this. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. There you go. That's your profit hit. Now, I'd expect that to push up a bit now. If it's these buy orders, where are they? A little bit lower. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Okay, so it's picking up these buy orders. There is some at 65, which I'll be surprised if that gets hit. So there you go. So we've had a break. We have made a few efforts to push up, and they failed. So now what's going on? 65 is still there. Now I'm led to believe the longer that bar's been there, the more chance it has got of not hitting it. But I could be wrong. Okay, so if I'm looking at a 10,000 tick chart, that is starting to look better. We've had a push down, pull back, and now we're pushing down again. We've got below these two levels here, so for me, I think it's likely now we're going to continue down, I do. So let me just see if this works any other way that it gives us a break of some sorts. Okay, so let's just put that like that. So there is a possibility that might be something like that. Sean Wong, I'm thinking the up channel could have already been broke. Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. We've come from here, touched here. In fact, it's not probably been confirmed there. You could adjust that to there, couldn't you? But yeah, that makes sense. Push up. So we've got a leg down sideways. I'm expecting some more downward stuff. So yeah, I agree with you. Sean, you're a new face. Welcome. Yeah, I agree with that. It does look like that's usually the case. I think sometimes you can be that stuck going, focused on going long, and you end up getting trapped. And when you think back and look back, it's already made the break. So, trading time, I bet you wish you'd still been holding on to this now. We could get quite a nice significant push down. I'd certainly say we're going to make a measured leg, which would take us down to here. Now, see, for me, this hasn't broken out this channel, so this may be a couple of legs up, a bit of sideways, another couple of, we could now work down to break these lows, so we could get this. So let me just get rid of these. Let me see if this original line I drew is. No, it's not, is it? It's not. It's not. Forget it. Forget I said anything. So yeah, break. A couple of pushes up, another attempt, made a new high. Yeah, it does look like we're moving down now. Was good. Yeah, it's hard to say really. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of normally you go off those first two swings. But the trouble is, sometimes you can adjust these things that bloody much that I don't know, something about that. Sometimes you can adjust these things too much, but I'm pretty sure Mac will probably go off those first two swings So it may be a break. I tend to think that's probably the case. Yeah, let's leave it that for now, because I think it does look like it's coming down, doesn't it? I mean, there is a possibility it's there and it's just 2 legs down and then higher. That's a possibility. Okay, so this is a possibility. There are a few possibilities we should know shortly. There is a possibility we got a leg up, 2 legs back, and then maybe more. I don't think there is. These legs where they have 2 legs of corrections usually a lot longer, and the 2 legs of corrections are significantly smaller, and that's turning out to be near enough as big. So I don't think it is, but that's a possibility. Okay, so I would expect to hit that. It does look like we're continuing down. There's our lows of the day. Okay, I'm going to do about another 10 minutes, I think, and that'll do me for the day. There's been nothing really obvious. The only one I think I can really see that's really sparked any interest is that one there. And I like the setup. The only downside, 1, it's a big-ass bar, and 2, it's about 2 ticks from those lows, which is dangerous. It did work, but I'm not prepared to risk 4.5 points on something that's that close to the lows. If that was a point back here, then I'd have been in that like a shot. But as it stands, it's just too risky. Now, the fact that it worked, you know, it is what it is. But you got to make a judgment call. And as soon as that big bar started rocking down, I mean, that does indicate we've, you know, as we've pushed up, sellers have come in and pushed it down. But there you go. Slim pickings today. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Yeah, it's definitely been harder lately. I think that's, from what I gather, a lot to do with the institutional guys taking their holidays. So I'm assuming there will be less volume coming through. Less volume, less bars, less setups maybe. No, there is quite a bit of liquidity at 60 down here, so whether we'll have 2 legs and then do something else, or whether we will continue down, I don't know. If we can get a couple of legs up here, I wouldn't mind shorting that. Okay, push up. Come on. Okay, 2 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Nowhere near it. It was a good lower high. And about that lower high there here. The trouble is with that break, you just don't know whether we're going to push up, because originally I had mine drawn slightly different. So and by the time it finished, at the moment it was struggling to get below there, so you wouldn't have had much distance before the lows. Okay, that's my target. In fact, I can go a bit lower. Yeah, I agree. Bias is still down. We've sort of been daisy chaining, haven't we? What I'd like to see is maybe the market to climb on up to sort of here somewhere and give us an option. Yeah, that's our low of the day at the bottom of that. So second entry short off here, I think would interest me. It is a little bit stuffy at the bottom, so but it doesn't mean we can't get a nice setup. Maybe a leg, back and a leg, and then low lie you mentioned and the lower height. Yeah. So hopefully this might get us close to where there's a potential. In fact, I'm not going to draw a channel just yet, but what I will do is draw just that, just to see if we can get close to it. Leg and a leg, maybe a lower high to come down towards this measured move. Yeah, you too, pal. Thanks for your input today, mate. You take it easy. I'm not far behind you, actually. 5 minutes. Just see if that gives us something here. Okay, so far so good. There's our first entry. If we can get something up here and then maybe a lower higher something, that would interest me. Push. Get up.
Order submitted.
Okay, possible second entry short. Now, okay, so this may confirm this. If we can get another bar now, which pushes up a bit, comes down and closes below there, that will confirm this channel. So I'm going to put the proper channel in now and see if this helps us. Anybody looking at this? In fact, what I might do.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order filled.
Okay, so let's leave that there. Yeah, it's definitely a second entry short, going for 2 points, see what happens. We've got the measured leg down there as well, which I expect to get close to, so we shall see. Not looking good. What's the rest? 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 points. Definitely a second entry short. We're clearly coming down at the moment. We've got a measured move down there. So Yeah, lower high would certainly be nice, wouldn't it? We haven't made a new low yet. There is this, what's it down here, but oh dear, I'm just going to give this one extra tick. Sometimes it'll save you. No, I think I'm screwed here. Don't want to get out of it. It's not looking good. Yeah, it's almost definitely going to take me out of this.
Order filled.
Yeah, that's a shame. Oh, I thought that was a sure thing, that. Oh, well. 325 down. Oh, well. I'm surprised second entry short is clearly sort of working down there, but I don't know. Maybe technically it's had a break and a new low there, so that's just one of those things, isn't it? So let's have a look. You stayed out. Don't like the wick doges. What did it go? It went down some, didn't it? It went down. You'd have got a 1.25 out of it, or a point out of it. Okay, all right, that's it for me today, folks. It happens. It's one of them things. So that is it for me. I will be back same time tomorrow. So one down. It's one of those things. I was tempted to come out of it when it was going slow, but it's one of those things, isn't it? It happens. Sometimes the thing is, a lot of times you get out of it and it makes the points anyway. That's why I sort of held on, but it's one of those things. So that's it for today, folks. So I appreciate all your comments. So I'll be here same time tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get back on the game near the lows. Yeah, it went near the lows, doesn't it? But that's one of those things, isn't it? So I'll be back same time tomorrow. So take it easy. Appreciate all the comments, and we will be here same time. Yeah, hey Thomas, how you doing? Back same time tomorrow. So take it easy.